How's it going, folks? It's Rob here. Time for a bit of an aquaponic system update. I've posted a couple of updates on the front yard and the backyard here over the last couple of weeks and had some people wanting to know how the aquaponics was going overall. I have posted a couple of aquaponics clips over the last month, but that's just mainly looking at cleaning out the filter and how the water flows through the pipes here. So I'll give you a bit of a look at the grow beds today. I've just fed the jade perch and also the silvers, so we'll toss a little bit more feed in for the silvers and see if they want to come up and say g'day. So what we might do is I'll set up the camera now and we'll feed the silvers and then we'll go for a bit of a toddle around the grow beds. Oh, by the way, thanks to our lovely daughters, both Bianca and I have been pretty crook over the last 10 or so days. So if I go off on any tangents or wild ramblings, hopefully I'll be able to edit them out. I'm not looking for sympathy, just letting you know that's why I sound a bit off and yeah, might be a little bit loopy this clip. So here we go. The jays just don't want to come out to play today. I tossed a grasshopper in there before and they weren't even interested in that. I've heard one or two little splashes, but there goes another pellet. But yeah, not really that feisty today. Probably fed them too much in the morning, so I'll probably go in and net all those bits of feed out and we'll just throw them in the compost. It's not a good idea to leave too much feed in there. It can tend to go a little bit manky. One or two are having a bit of a nibble now. But I'll just turn the camera around and we'll toss a little bit of feed in for the silvers. So these guys are pretty much all feeding at the surface now. I've got a little bit of sinking pellets food left, but not a great deal. Here the jade's feeding behind, but doesn't look like any silvers want to come up. Nah, sorry about that, folks, a bit of a dud. Oh, over the back there's one or two having a bit of a splash. Nothing that you can see though. Now, I think the jade perch are just camera shy because they're having a bit of a nibble behind me now. So anyway, that's enough of looking at the fish. We'll pop down and have a look at the grow beds now. So this first grow bed's still got mainly lettuce in it that we're harvesting. We're just taking off leaves from the outside and also the perpetual spinach. It's just continually giving us crop after crop. I actually posted a clip on that the other day, probably yesterday now by the time this goes up. So definitely a plant that we're going to continue to grow. We've found that one there tastes more like true spinach than the chards and the silver beets and things like that, the warrigal green. So probably in preference over the others. We'll be growing that from now on. Hopefully we'll be able to get some seed set on it. It is a biennial, so yeah, we're going to leave it in the beds to see if we can get any flowers pop up. The beetroot was being harvested until we decided to get crook, and we've been having a lot of soups and things like that, just easy quick meals, but we have been taking a fair bit of that off to throw into the salads. More so the girls come down for lettuce because that's what they're used to. You know, it's hard to break their habits. We also have one of the Thai basils in here, looks like it's dying off. The other one here officially made it to spring, so it overwintered. Oh yeah, happy spring, folks. It's the second day of spring here. The lettuce, give you a bit of a closer look. We've got the coral ones coming up nicely. I think I actually prefer the coral to the cos style, so we might be growing more of them from now on. Also too, the minuet, you can't really tell because we've harvested a lot of leaves off these guys, but they were a lot larger. That one, we accidentally took the head out, one of the girls, but we have some really nice minuets out down the back. I'll show you in a tick. Might just have a quick look at the pH. I'll just set up the tripod. So I just turn this little meter on and the pH is sitting at, where are we? I don't know if you can see that. Oh yes you can, 6.5. So it's sort of in the sweet spot that I like it, anywhere between 6.3 and 6.8. So probably tomorrow, oh it's falling, oh no, back up, can't make up its mind. Anyway, tomorrow I'll probably end up dosing the system and the temperature is sitting at 22 degrees Celsius, which is 73 Fahrenheit. So the water in the systems are starting to warm up again just with the spring on its way. I'll actually here now. So the higher water temperature means the fish will go back on their feed again and pump out a few more nutrients. So actually just quickly, I did a nutrient reading before. I did a little bit of an experiment actually. Rupert of Oz, or John as he's otherwise known, was asking me about ammonia, the difference between, fairly sure it was ammonia from the radial flow filter, taking a reading from there, and then another one after the biofilter there. That's the biofilter there. We'll just open it up and give you a look. It's full of this biomedia that has bacteria on it that does the ammonia conversion to nitrites and then to nitrate, part of the nitrogen cycle. It's basically, with this stuff you don't need media beds, but yeah, don't want to get into that and confuse people. So what that does there is that converts the ammonia to nitrite. So John was just curious if there was a difference between the ammonia reading from there and then after that biofilter, because there's technically enough media in there to look after the waste from all our fish, even though I do have media beds that do the same thing. And what I found was the water reading after it exited the second sump tank there, it came in at just above trace, and that was about 20 minutes after I gave the silver perch their first amount of food or daily allotment of food. So there is ammonia pretty much all at the same level before the biofilter as after, so that was interesting. A few folks interested in the nitrate reading. I took a little bit of a reading before just with our little kit down there, and I had the nitrate coming in between 10 and 20 parts per million. Just down here you can see that this bed here is no longer a jungle. I hacked into it and removed a lot of the Okinawan spinach and also to the mushroom herb. There are 3 Okinawan spinach plants in here. There's one down here and there's 2 over the other side there, and they had taken over this whole bed. You actually couldn't see pretty much all the majority of this poor sad looking jalapeno. It was just absolutely smothered with Okinawan spinach and mushroom plant. So also you can see what sort of effect it's had on the aloe vera. I uncovered the aloe vera and it was nice and bright green, and then since it's been exposed to all this sunlight, it's actually coming off looking a little bit sunburnt, but I have noticed there is a little bit of green tinge coming back to some of it today, so it should bounce back all right. Really needs to be thinned anyway. So yeah, cleaning out the beds, that was what I was hoping the clip was going to be on this week, showing you some nice cleaned out beds with a couple of seedlings in there. But seriously folks, I've just been too crook to get out here and push myself. This bed here will hopefully have this jalapeno removed. It's looking rather sick. There's definite nutrient deficiency in the leaves. I've been feeding the bed up with iron and seaweed solution, and if you can see the greenery, the color of this greenery over here, you wouldn't think there is any nutrient deficiency whatsoever. None of the other plants look like they're lacking at all. It's just this one jalapeno. The new growth that is coming on there looks, where are we? Down in there looks rather green. But anyway, we will be pulling this plant out. It's actually in one of the original smart pots that got me hooked onto these air pruning bags. That one was sent over to me by Dale from Media Maker 2000. Thank you very much, mate. It's been in there for, I think, coming on to 2+ years now, if not 3. So what I'm going to do is pull that out, and I wanted to show that in the clip as well, just to show you how the roots went through it and all that. But I might leave that for another clip once I got my seedlings to go in there and replace it. I'm looking at doing cucumbers, and then what I want to do is just bring them up here and then trellis them along the battens here. So yeah, and then the rest of this bed here, I was thinking about putting some little dwarf bush beans I got some seeds for. Hopefully I'll sow them out today in some potting mix. But these other beds over there, yeah, they're just looking rather messy at the moment. We might go around and give you a look at the garlic, I think. So before we get to the garlic, this is the parsley. This thing here, you might be able to work out little dents where what I've done is I've come in here, and you might be able to make out they've got branches like this branch here. What I do is I come out here and I take off a whole branch or 2 small branches like that, and it makes a massive hole in the plant, and that pretty much will does us for our meal, whether it's couscous salad or tabbouleh or something like that. And then the hole slowly just grows over again with new growth. Knock on wood, this has been the best parsley we've ever grown. As you can see, it's just a mammoth plant. It's grown all through winter for us, and it hasn't gone to flower yet, so we're really chuffed with it. If it does go to flower, I will be saving some seeds, because normally this stuff doesn't make it all through summer and then a winter without throwing up a flower spike. Very, very pleased with this little plant. I won't be pulling it out of the system. I'm going to see how long I can leave it in there. Just a quick look here at the garlic. Our garlic has shot again, so it formed cloves and then decided to shoot. This one here, same thing, you can see it's all shot. It's just got to do with our warm weather here, I think. You can see down here, these ones have all shot. So I'm Last year it did pretty much all the same thing. We still used the bulbs. I just left them grow and then just came out here and grabbed garlic as I needed it. It was at a wicking barrel at the back stairs. So I'm thinking about doing the same with these guys here. I see no point in pulling them out and trying to freeze the garlic or anything like that. I'll just leave them be in here. I can always plan around them. There's this one here that's looking rather dead that I will pull out. It's starting to die off a little bit. Only a few small ones in there. And I pulled out one earlier as well that was over the back. A few small bulbs there. This one here I didn't even realise, it's already died off. Small bulb. And this one here, yeah, we'll pull him out too. Oh, some half decent sized cloves there. And it doesn't look like it's bolted. So there we go, we did get one success. But anyway, they'll go up into the house and we'll just use them over the week. Around the corner here we have some basil. This basil has overwintered yet again. Which plant? Actually, no, it's died. Oh no, she died. She didn't make it through winter. I was hoping it would make it through a second season. But she can come out now. We'll give her a bit of a pull. And yeah, so any compost worms? Always like to check for compost worms first. Doesn't look like it. Just bang her out there. She can just go down into the compost pile. No point leaving her in here. To show you down in here, this is the reason why I have compost worms in the system. Compost worms will not look after all the solids that float around the system, but they will knock off bits and pieces of organic matter that's left over in the clay. They will polish them up, so they are good to have in the system. Around here, you may be able to tell, I don't have the Dutch barrels anymore. They've been pulled out. I pulled them out last weekend. I probably shouldn't have because it really knocked me for a six, but I'm working on some plumbing on these guys. I'll go up and explain it in a minute after we finish having a look here. So what I'm going to do is just the 2 barrels but have an external bell siphon on them, but I'll give you a look at that in a tick. Up in this bed here, from the other side, you can see the 2 Okinawan spinach. These guys here are pretty much, well this one here, I might pull him out today, hey? And this is one of the reasons I pulled him out. These little pains in the butts. These guys are caterpillar from the magpie moth, so they pretty much all get in here and they were chewing on all the greenery from the Okinawan spinach. Just pull him out. As you can see, this one was growing in a net cup and pretty much all has exploded out the sides. So when I pull plants out like this, what I like to do is just leave them, net cup and all, just on the surface for a day or two. There's no point in planting this one out anywhere else. I've got more than enough plants around the place. But what that does is it lets any compost worms that may be in here just escape and they can go out, you know, back down into the beds. Over here we've got some Brazilian spinach. It actually set down roots here in this grow bed. The mother plant, there's the stem, is over here in this grow bed. So it's done fairly well. I have broken a few bits off for different people. I was supposed to put some of this in a jar for Jen. Sorry, Jen. There's loads of it here though. I can pop it into a jar at a later date and people can come and pick it up with a few roots attached. And just over here we have a celery. I've been picking bits and pieces off of. And some more chard like we need it. Yeah, just like we need a hole in the head. And another celery over here. These guys again, they're going hollow, but we're still using it. It's just a little bit disappointing. We can't grow those nice thick stems for some reason. One more thing I will show you is my little volunteer garden down here. These are my other minuets. These are the ones that are doing far better than the ones in the aquaponics for whatever reason. Just growing in the rocks here. They just self-sowed from seed that was from a lettuce that was growing in this bed up here last year. So yeah, hoping to pull one of these soon. This one here is bolting to seed, so we might pull that one out and just, yeah, compost it, I think. We'll pop around and I'll give you a look at the Dutch barrels. Oh, just noticed. Have an aloe vera that's going to flower. Cool. So I got the Dutch barrels set up here. I will be working on them here. I just need to work out some way to get an external siphon on there. And there's all the clay. There's some over there in a root pouch. So what I'm planning on doing is fitting the old drain fittings back in, just to stop any of the clay being sucked out. And then pretty much we'll running to the external siphon that will be set up in a small little white bucket like that one there. I think they're about a 15 litre or a 4 to 5 gallon bucket. I'm not too sure whether I'll use uniseals or whether I'll use other fittings on the side there. And basically one fitting will come in either side. There'll be a standpipe in the middle like a typical bell siphon. and then the outlet down the bottom. So it'll just be one bell siphon to regulate the height in both these barrels, and also too there will be a bit of a reduction in the size of these barrels as well. I don't need them to be this deep, so I'll pretty much will just chop off the top ring section there, and into these barrels I'll be popping some ginger. I've actually got some ginger that really needs to go out very soon. It's already got little green shoots on it, so hopefully as soon as I'm feeling better, these guys are going back in around the corner where you saw them before. So that's pretty much all the next big thing I have on the cards, other than cleaning out the beds and planting in some more seedlings. So I was planning for the big 1st of spring aquaponic update clip, but you know, today's the 2nd of spring and I just wasn't up to it during the week, sorry folks. But what I will do is I'll share a couple of clips that I posted to our Patreon wall, just a couple up there on cleaning out the Dutch buckets or barrel, and also to cleaning out the grow bed on top of the sump tank. So you can have a look at them, also give you a bit of an idea on the sort of thing that I'm trying to post to Patreon when I'm not feeling so crud. I do hope that you have enjoyed this little bit of a catch-up clip though. I will be doing another one when I pull that capsicum out, jalapeno out, and clean up these other beds, so you can come back then and check them out if you want. If you want a notification, you can hit that little subscribe button up there and you'll be sent an email when those clips or any others are uploaded to our YouTube channel. You can come along and say g'day. I'll also post a card right at the end of this clip that has hot links to all the different aquaponic clips for you folks who are interested on seeing what other aquaponic clips that we've posted on our YouTube channel. So there you go. I do hope everyone is well and happy, and that your gardens and your aquaponics are booming, and I'll catch you next clip. Cheers folks. Just one more thing before I let you go. I forgot to show you the size of this beetroot. She's a whopper. So I think we might just leave her in until she goes to seed and see what happens. I do hope everyone is well and happy, and that your gardens and your aquaponics are booming, and I'll catch you next clip. Cheers folks. I made it.